Hey, Scott from Aristocob.com here.
And Seth from SethMarkwood.com.
Together, the three of us, we are Markwood Men's Breakfast Club. Welcome back once again, and good morning, boy.
Good morning, Homer.
So, on today's episode
That's right.
of Markwood Men's Breakfast Club, we're going to talk about retail arbitrage, LED lighting, and Moore's Law.
All right.
as a teaser.
Yeah.
And we're smoking what?
Well, you are already into it. I am going to be joining you with some Brendan's Choice today, more commonly Lane 1Q. The last time we met and smoked, we finished our tobacco advent tobaccos, and so kind of cleansing the palate before jumping into whatever the next different new tobaccos are. We have a whole bunch of stuff on the backlog, so soon we'll be back to some things we're not used to smoking.
Do you realize we got that stuff 6 months ago?
Yeah, well, we had tobacco to smoke. Do you realize we're already through Q1 and have just finished tobacco advent from the fourth quarter of last year?
Crazy.
That's amazing. You guys are awesome.
So,
there you go.
So here, little topic. Hold on a second. And this conversation can go four different ways, I think. But I thought what I wanted to talk with you about today was I sat in with my employer. I sat in with a product manager today and got a review of what's coming in this next generation of LED lighting. I work for a hardware manufacturer who sells hardware for cabinets and furniture and architectural millwork and hotels, things like that. And we do sell LED lighting and pretty amazing stuff. But what is mind-blowing to me is almost every year they come out with a new generation of product. And if you go back to, let's say, 7-8 years ago, what we had was a mix of stuff from a bunch of different manufacturers. The switches weren't compatible. Their power supply, which with LED lighting, they're called drivers, those were not compatible. Color temperatures were an issue. The quality of the light, the color rendering, which is a little different than the color of the light itself, color rendering was not good. And now, moving forward several generations, my mind is blown where this is all going.
Yeah.
And it brought me to some memories of Moore's Law. You familiar with Moore's Law?
I'm not.
So Moore's Law is that theory about technology where new
Doubles every 7 years.
or however often it is.
7 years, yeah. Technology doubles.
We'll put a link down below, and maybe you'll know more about it than we do at this moment.
Yeah.
But just the idea that what we're seeing today is stuff that 2 years ago we didn't dare dream, because 2 years ago we were finally kind of filling in some of the holes in the line, and now we're talking about just crazy stuff that is mind-blowing to me. And it's like, how much more efficient, how much brighter, how much higher quality is the color rendering going to get? Well, on a scale of 1 to 100, with the sun giving us 100, that's things look in nature how they look in real life. So the top is 100 on color rendering. LEDs are amazing, absolutely amazing, and this technology is very cool. To this point, I'm walking through a store the other day, and I saw a stack of these LED desk lamps. All right, Sunbeam LED desk lamps. And
no bulbs to replace. I mean, you throw away the whole lamp when it dies.
I purchased one because your mom was talking about needing to have a reading lamp by the bed. And I thought, well, this will be straightforward, simple, right? And you can open one of these up. Today I went back and I bought a black one and a white one. So yeah, what this thing has, it uses a total of 4.6 watts of energy. So basically the energy of like a nightlight. Okay. Night lights are usually either 3 or 7 watts, or at least traditionally they were 3 or 7 watts. This is just a little over 4 watts. I'm sorry, not 3, 4 or 7 watts. And this one has a touch dimmer that works you through a couple intensities. I think it's only like 3. Okay.
100%, 50%, 5%.
And when I saw this, I thought, well, maybe this is actually a battery light, but no, it's not. It comes with a little plug-in here, a wall-mounted driver, and it's heavy. I mean, that is one heavy lamp. And let's plug this thing in.
What is that plugged into? I'm gonna unplug that and hope it's not anything important.
Okay.
So it makes me think, we talked, I don't know, some time ago about Moore's Law and how, if you think back to the 1900, how different was technology in 1900 to technology in 1800? Right? It was different, but not that different. Now, how different is technology today to technology in 1900? It's crazy. And so the technology adoption is increasing, and how different will it be for us in another 30 years, 50 years?
Exactly. So that's right there, the low light.
I think this is the bright light.
Is it? Oh, it is. You're right. So look at that. That's great. That's pretty much task lighting. We can read underneath here, and well, it's the brightest this table's ever been. How much do you think this thing was?
$10, $12.
I bought 3 of them. You know me. Did I spend $12 each on 3 lights?
I mean, you spent $12 on worse, but $6.99.
Let me show you the bag.
Where'd you get them again? Walmart? Oh, Dollar Tree. $4.
Do you not know Dollar Tree?
Is Dollar Tree the one where everything is $1? No, yeah, that's $1. Holy cow! And that's a Sunbeam. Holy cow!
Holy cow is right, Batman. They had pallets of these. They had stacks of also, and I didn't buy this and probably should have, they had table lamps that look kind of like a lamp you might have if you were out camping or something like that.
Right.
I didn't look closely at those. Again, maybe they were battery powered. $1.
Wow.
$1. So that leads me to retail arbitrage.
Right.
So I went and I Googled it to see, well, what are these things actually, what are they valued at? So at the time that I searched on Amazon, you could find these from $12 to $15. On eBay, you could already find them at a starting price of $5. So imagine, somebody runs a Dollar Tree, picks up one of these for $1. They pick up a bunch of them for $1.
Right, they get
stick them on eBay, and let's say they only get $5. They never get more than their opening bid. I wish my 401k behaved that way.
Sure.
Or that anything I sold gave me those kind of margins.
Right.
And in most cases, their purchaser is going to be paying shipping on that over and above the cost. Mm-hmm. There were some that had a starting price of $9.99, shipping included, right? Free shipping, which on eBay puts your listing higher.
Right.
Right. So it's opportunities like that, and you kind of have to be in the game quickly. But there are so many opportunities for people to make money, but you got to be at the beginning of that curve. And you got to be in it before the demand drops and the inventory increases, because it's just a matter of moments before they'll have this product everywhere. I went to 2 other Dollar Trees. They didn't have them, and both of them, when I asked, said, "Yeah, we wish we had those. They have them in Greensboro and they have them in Thomasville." Right, so they don't all have them. I would call ahead if you're thinking about this. But if for nothing else, great lamp for $1, and maybe you could turn $1 on these. Make them available to folks that don't have a Dollar Tree or don't have the interest in traveling to a Dollar Tree. Make a little bit of money. But we were talking about retail arbitrage before, and about how there were some games, the millennial version of Monopoly.
Yeah.
Hit, and people who saw that said, "Oh my gosh, that's hilarious," and they bought them all up.
Right.
And the next thing you know, when people were asking stores, "Do you have it?" "Well, we're not going to have them until sometime after Christmas." suddenly the cost goes sky high.
Yeah.
And there are people making hundreds of dollars
Per.
reselling that game.
Yeah. The other one we talked about was the Trader Joe's bagel seasoning.
Everything bagel.
Everything but the bagel seasoning.
Mm-hmm.
Saw a video of people doing that as well. We should get some more of these. We should make these backdrop shop lights.
Just get them all, have them shining up on the wall.
No. Like, on a shelf, shining down.
I mean, you could
That's true.
very easily make a little holster for that to hang it on the wall.
That's true.
And make a sconce out of it.
Yeah. All right, we'll do that.
I have no idea what this is doing to the image
Yeah, it's probably terrible.
in the video.
And it's probably obscuring our faces, which is,
Not so bad.
improvement. That is neat.
So, going back in my past, there was a time for 5 years of my life that I was a clockmaker. I was a horologist. I used to repair clocks. And one of my favorite clocks to repair was a clock called an anniversary clock. Those are those kind of skeletal clocks that you'll see on people's mantles underneath a glass dome. And their pendulum spins. And more times than not, it was 4 balls spinning. And the way that you adjust the rate on that pendulum, the way you slow it down, speed it up, is you actually rotate a little disc, which makes those weights move out or move in. And I just really enjoyed those clocks and got a little bit into the history of them. And what happened was those clocks sold turn of the last century, the previous century, for well over $100. And they were very expensive in its time. And it was one of those things that people gave as gifts, and they only needed to be wound once a year, so people would wind them on their anniversary. They were actually called 400-day clocks, and most of them could run 400 days. And jewelers were able to command a premium for them. Not everybody was going to buy, you're not going to buy several of them. Mm-hmm. And it had a lot of sentimentality tied into it. Well, some manufacturer was shipping these products over from Germany, and something happened, and their inventory got tied up, and then somebody was able to buy them for a song. They were able to get them out of, I don't know, customs, whatever it was, and they advertised them for like $29 a piece. Well, what that did, it cleared out their inventory, but suddenly the perceived value of them went right in the toilet. It's like, what, they're worth $29 and we paid $100 or $150 for ours? And suddenly the interest in them went away overnight.
Yeah.
And, so what happens when you have a glut of product, when you at one time had a high demand, it can kill all interest in the product.
Yeah.
Flat screen TVs at one time, they were $4,000 a piece, and people would show them off. It killed, flat screen TVs killed the entertainment center industry, a segment of the furniture industry.
Yeah.
And people who had a flat screen TV wanted the world to know it, so they hung it on the wall of their living room. Yeah. And as the years went by and the prices went down, suddenly people are wanting to have cabinets to put their flat screen TVs in again. They're looking for motorized lifts to bring it up out of the credenza and things like that.
Cool
so
again.
It's funny how everything old is new again.
Yeah.
With trends like that. So
I was watching a video by The Verge on YouTube just today, and it was talking about Chinese knockoffs, which is something we've talked about before, and in particular was talking about highlighted 2 products that have been knocked off in China and the different approaches the entrepreneurs have taken. One, their business went under because they kickstarted the project and they weren't able to go to market. It took them about 6 months longer to go to market than it took the knockoffs to. And so they were just completely poached. And the knockoff ended up being, the company that made the knockoff was purchased by Xiaomi, which is a huge, one of the largest phone manufacturers in the world. And so when that happened, they started integrating the product into their phones.
Oh my gosh.
And so they just didn't stand a chance at all. The other one is a company that makes lights, that LED lights that are shaped like a book, and so it looks like a book. And the moment you open it, it lights up, and you can unfold it, and it looks like pages that are all lit up, and can also go all the way back. It's magnetized.
It becomes a magnet, or
become like
a lamp,
a lantern. It was really slick. He is fascinated with his knockoffs. They were showing he's got a collection of them. He buys everyone he comes across, and they talked about when does he decide to fight his patent. And what I thought was interesting is he knows who his customer is, and so the only time he's interested in fighting for the patent is when another company is encroaching on selling to his customer. And so his customer, he views his as a piece of art. And so it's high-end boutique art lifestyle products. And so, the knockoffs, the cheap ones, he said, those people aren't ever going to buy my product anyway. It's when they're trying to go with that higher tier, his customer, that he has only one time has he taken them to court because of that. I thought that was a really interesting approach.
Well, it's kind of risky too, because if you allow someone to sell that product and you knowingly, if there's any way that they've acknowledged, and I bet he doesn't do that, but if he acknowledges that company's existence and almost gives them a nod of the head, and then they go after the boutique, it can be too late, right? So he's got to be careful with how he does that. But that's interesting.
Yeah. Well, and he was on Shark Tank and wound up being funded, I think, by one of the sharks. So I'm sure that his approach is being well advised. But that I thought really tied back to the conversations we have had about how that's going to happen. He acknowledged it's going to happen. And so how do you keep your business afloat in the face of that? And the way you do it is you make something unique. You make, as Seth Godin says, you make art that your customers believe in, and you find, as Seth Godin says, the smallest viable audience for your product. Instead of relying on trying to make something for the masses, make something for the 2,000 people that really love what you do, and then really keep them happy.
Have you seen the Maker Knife by Jocko whatever? YouTube channel Jocko whatever. He created this knife that is essentially, at its heart, it's a utility knife like this. But he designed it in such a way, it has a metal body, and it's got a ring right here that you can stick your finger into. And it will not open until you put your finger in the ring and slide forward. So there's a little teeny hair trigger in it that you can adjust the tension on it. But you can flip it open, flip it closed, flip it open, flip it closed. But when it's open, you can jam it into the wood. It will not close unless you put your finger in the hole and flip up on it. Cool little design. Very expensive for a utility knife. The initial launch of it, I think the cheapest version was like $50, and then they went up from there. You could get the Jimmy DeResta version that was customized by Jimmy, and so on, but 100 and above. I was really so tempted to buy it, and part of the reason why I wanted to buy it was to support Jocko. I like the stuff he's doing. But I've gone through my using a utility knife as a pocket knife phase, and I'm over it. I just don't like a utility knife blade as my pocket knife. But it's just a matter of time before that thing's going to be knocked off, and it'll be $5 on eBay, and it'll be one that's fairly faithful. And as inventors now, boy, you got to make hay while you can, because it's just a matter of time. And somebody could get the patent, look at it, and say, we can make this a little better if we just do this. That can be enough of a change that they're not infringing on his rights. So, and he's not going to waste his money. I hope he's smart enough. He's not going to waste his money to defend his patents by that time, when that happens. The people that want to carry his knife are willing to pay the money to buy it from him. But like this knife, for example, we've talked about it before, I would never, ever, 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 ever ever pay the money that the original was worth. So they didn't lose money when I went and bought the knockoff. But if their target market was targeted by the knockoffs, they would, first off, the knockoffs would be selling these for $99 against his $200 or whatever the price was. It was crazy. But that's not what they did. They went straight to eBay, and these were $5 maybe? I forget how much we paid for them.
They were cheap. They were cheap.
Anyway, all this is kind of interesting. It's just something that's fresh on my mind. So I thought we'd talk about it. If you happen to have a Dollar Tree.
Very illuminating.
Oh, I see what you did there. Don't do that again.
Yeah. I don't feel great about it.
Yeah, I would hope not. So we'll wrap it up. I don't know. Let us know if you find some of these in your neck of the woods, and if you're able to sell them, that'd be kind of cool. And don't go crazy buying them all up before you check to see what they're selling for now when you're watching this video. Right? Go see if there's a market for them first.
Even if you don't do that, save them for Christmas gifts.
Your mom and dad didn't see this at the dollar store, and if they did, they didn't buy it for $1.
That's right. That's right. All right, that's it for this week.
Make it a great week.
See ya.